Okay, so okay, Ajulu, you can. Good evening, everybody. So I guess everybody can hear us. So welcome to another edition of DesignYarn. So we have Ajulu that is going to speak to us about the strategies for growth. I've been so much. We are approaching a new year, and one of the things that is important is how to get prepared for next year. And like Ajulu we said, there's nothing like next year. It starts now. So um, most important thing is that he has so much to say. He has so much to give us. I want everybody to be as attentive as possible, to jot things down or pick some things up. I know he used to drop bars. People that know him, and even I personally have learned so much from him. So this night is going to be a very serious night because he's a very serious guy. So I hope everybody here will really enjoy today. I'll just leave the platform for him. I don't need to talk. I can't talk where he's talking. I'll have to listen. You understand? So
Like Jesus Christ.
all right now. So actually just start a bit. Just start. Let's sit down. Let's relax with our earpiece and everything. Let's just learn from you, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So I usually start my sessions with prayer. So just say a quick prayer and we'll get to it. So Father, thank you for tonight's session. We thank you for everyone who has come here tonight. Father, I ask that as we hold this session and also interact among ourselves, let us have takeaways from tonight's sessions. Spirit of God, I welcome you. You are the senior partner and the junior partner. Come and take control in this meeting. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen. All right. So since I'm the only one that is talking, so you guys will have to be this thing. We'll have to be as interactive as possible in the chat box. I like to ensure that everybody is I'll just share my screen. So that's where is that this thing? Okay, then just project my desktop then. I believe that's oh there's a with a little problem. I have to rejoin to activate this setting. Okay. I'll be back immediately. Making Moski the host for now.
All right. Let's wait for him to be joined so that I can share his screen so that we can see what he has for us. So if you want to ask any question, want to audio ask, you want to ask with your mouth, just raise your hand and I will unmute you, or he's going to unmute you so that you can ask. And if you want to type out your question, which is probably easier, you can just type it out. Then he's going to read and he's going to, at the end of the day, reply or give an answer. So these sections they're always recorded and they'll be uploaded to YouTube at the end of the day. So if you are going to be having network issues, there's possibility that you'll be able to rewatch it. So let's just wait for him. Okay, I think he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. I just installed Zoom for now on this laptop. So before I could activate that screen share setting, I had to quit it. So that's why I had to leave.
All
So I
right,
should be able.
now.
All right. Okay, so I believe everybody's seen my my purple screen. So that's basically what I'm going to be talking about tonight. So if you look at the top left, okay, is it my left or your left? If you look at the top left, you see the major things I'm going to be talking on tonight's session. So I believe everybody's seeing my screen. So if I see my screen indicates, let me open the chat box. Great. So when it comes to this thing, making headway in the world that we live in, I believe everybody here already knows what the tech world looks like. And this thing, there's always that talk of like when people go on sites like job listing sites and they see how much designers and developers earn, they're always like, wow, that's this thing pays. And when they and of course when you are hearing stories from other people in Nigeria, when they will tell you there's a random developer in Ibadan that is making 1.5 million naira monthly working with a Silicon Valley company remotely. Stories like that have always excited people. But I found out that in my journey with people who are going into the tech world, there's always that misconception they bring into the skill economy. So of course, we all know the traditional economy: go to school, go to university, come out, use the job, get a certificate, look for a job. And most times, most people struggle in the tech world because they bring in that mentality into the tech world. So I've seen people like even Moski post a class on Twitter, and you see people that they're asking that, how far boss will I get certificate after this thing? Will I get certificate after this class? Because they feel that they always need a certificate to get the job. There's always that. So if you tell them, no certificate, they don't understand that concept of like putting in the work and maybe getting noticed or doing things that get you noticed. That mentality of like, okay, I need to have a certification before somebody listening to me is quite predominant. And that's what is holding lots of people back when it comes to the tech world. So I will just share my story briefly because I believe that storytelling is the best way to get things across to people. Sometimes most things are boring for people, but if you put it in the context of a story, it's easier for a lot of people to this thing to understand. So my journey into the tech world started in 2011. I finished secondary school 2011 actually, and I was very, very fascinated about the internet. Then it's mostly everybody just know how to go. There was the wave then. Everybody came on board the internet. Our generation came on board the internet via social media. So and to go was the top. And I believe some people here maybe probably was on to go then. But I was very, very fascinated then because I know that this thing goes beyond to go. I believe there's something much more than just chatting and this thing, like chatting with people from all over the world. So I started digging deep and I discovered that there was other areas of the internet that was also quite as remarkable as social media. And that's when my advent into Google started. So I started doing lots of Google searches. I had a little Nokia 2620 phone then that my uncle gave me. And I constantly did searches on the internet. So then my access to information was still very, very limited. Most of my tech related materials came from newspaper columns that talked about tech. So began to get names of some websites from there. I had a little notebook then I was using to make notes of websites. So I now started asking myself that I'm seeing people that are saying that it's possible to make one on this internet, and also, but it was mostly foreigners then. I was like, so how can I, living in a young boy in Lagos, be able to make money on this internet? And that's why I now learned about something called this thing, blogging. So I was like, blogging, wow, that's great. So I started reading about blogging. John Morrow that it was Boost Blogs Traffic, but currently smartblogger.com. So if you go to smartblogger.com, you find the blog. So I was started reading about blogging from John Morrow's blog. The more I found out that wow, this is quite lucrative. But I had this thing, limited access when it comes to the different tools I needed to work. First of all, I didn't have a laptop. That was like the obvious problem. And also I didn't have the the money to even host a website, even if I got a laptop. But then I didn't let those obstacles deter me. I started studying about blogging in 2011. And it was very, very it was very, very it was a bit frustrating for me, and like not how it was very frustrating for me because I knew the potential of what I was studying, but it was very, very hard for me to really see a way that I was going to go about it. And it's also very, very hard for me to explain to like young people like myself, because they're always boxed into that thing of like, so they're like, this guy, they always talk rubbish, just leave this guy. But it didn't stop me. There was a particular quote by Abraham Lincoln that spurred me on. He said, I'll study and prepare myself, and one day my time will come. So I just kept studying about blogging. I read everything I could about blogging on the internet. And by default, I also learned personal branding online alongside it. So 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, I got admission to UNN in 2015. The compulsory laptop program for first years. So like, yes, this is my time to get a laptop. And even then, it was very, very hard for me then because this thing, and I don't like saying this because it makes me say yeah and all stuff like that, but it's to make my story more relatable. So I'm an orphan and an only child. So when you are an orphan and you are an only child, growing up is very, very tough. So I, like you heard, I finished secondary school 2011, but university didn't become a topic till 2014, 2015. So I wrote the fair jam 2014. I couldn't go. I tried again 2015 and I went to school. So by then, a lot of program came up and it was war because even getting my school fees then was very, very hard. Talk more of like saying that the school is telling first years to buy a laptop. But I was very, very happy inside because I knew that since it was compulsory, I know that I'll eventually get the laptop and there was nothing anybody could do about it. So even though my uncles, they're like, is there no way you can maneuver? I'm like, oh, they say you cannot maneuver it, though, that we must get the laptop. All that. So I paid late. So I didn't get my laptop till late 2016. I was laptop with a laptop. So by November, I think, of 2016, my laptop landed. I was very, very happy. So I did some refresher courses on blogging and all that. And I started but I still didn't have money to host a blog. So the only alternative was the free one. And I knew enough of blogging so that one didn't make sense. But I still didn't let it stop me. I created a free blog and I just, let me just start. So fast forward to January 2017. So I heard about Bitcoin. So I was like, Bitcoin. So, and when in telling all these my stories, a whole lot of things I'm going to be talking about today came into it. Like they shaped my story or my journey into the tech world in one way or the other. And that's also enabled me help teach other people to shape their journey that way. And I've gained a lot of results. So my greatest attribute that I have is my curiosity. I'm the most curious person that I've ever met. I'm able to find anybody that is more curious than me. And that curiosity is what helps me get to where I am today. So I was always reading up things, always making a search. Even if I'm watching a movie now and they mention something I don't know about, I'll pause that movie and go and search for the book before watching the movie. That's how curious I am. So that hearing about Bitcoin for the first time, I know a whole lot of people that have also heard about Bitcoin, but they didn't really pay attention to it. But I'm like, okay, this I've been coming up again. Let me just read about it. So I did a search on Bitcoin. I was in UNEC then in Enugu. I did a search on Bitcoin. I was at a night class. Then my mates to go to night class to read. I'll go to night class with my laptop to do research and read on things, take online courses. So I started about Bitcoin and I saw a blog post on how to spend cryptocurrencies. So I was like, wow, I would love to know about spending cryptocurrency. So I was like, okay, this thing that everybody's talking about. Let me even see whether it's possible to spend it or if I eventually get it. I clicked on the post and I saw something called Steemit. So a platform where you can write and get paid in cryptocurrencies. So I was like, wow, this is great. So I clicked on it. I went to steemit.com. And that's when I saw that, okay, this is a great place for me to combine my blogging skills and also make money. So I went through the websites. People were like saying that it's paying them, that I'll be earning from it. And I'm someone that I've been enough on the internet a long time to recognize something that is a system that works. So deep down inside me, I knew that this thing works, even though I didn't really know the full story. So I created my blog January 27th, and I started blogging on steemit.com. And actually, from the first week, I started earning from the very first week. So I went through that blog, but then I didn't know what to blog about. I've spent the past 4 to 5 years reading about blogging, and now I didn't know what to blog about. But I didn't let that deter me. I said, okay, since I know how to write fiction, let me start with that. I started writing short stories every day, posting on my blog on Steemit. And then, as I started exploring, due to my curious nature, most of the people on Steemit were foreigners, people from Europe, America. They all came because they're like, okay, if you blog here and your post is good, you make money. And like I said, I started making money from the very first week. And I was fortunate to come across the early writer support program there that supported new writers on the platform. So they were always voting my posts, and I was always making money. So I saw myself earning around an average of $20 to $30 every week there. But I was like, okay, I need to find out what I really need to blog about this short story. I don't really like these short stories. So as I explored the platform and I interacted with other people, I began to find out that a lot of people on that platform didn't know how to blog. They just signed up on that place because they knew how to make money. They didn't know things like content creation, creating, choosing a niche, connecting with other people, building a network on this thing via your blog, and all those everything that has to do with blogging. So I was like, wow, this is what I've spent the past 4 to 5 years studying. I can actually teach them this. And that's how I started teaching people on Steemit how to blog. So my blog, so on my blog, I was teaching people how to blog on my blog. And that was what helps me grow my network very fast. At one time in Steemit, a guy that does this survey, and it was like, my content is in the top 4% of content on steemit.com. And it was very, very huge because this was a platform where there was over 500,000 people blogging daily. So yeah, I'm on the right track. So then I blogged throughout 2017, 2018. I made my first million naira by I started blogging on January, February. By March, by May, I've already made over $1 million on Steemit then. And it was via crypto. So it was very, very huge for me. And most time when I tell people that story, or when people saw me earning money there, they thought that, wow, okay, let me just get in. And it wasn't something that was easy for most of them to replicate. And I was like, it's not, you won't be able to get the result I'm getting because you have not gotten the level of preparation. So I spent 4 years, over 4 years studying blogging. That was like somebody going to university to study a course. I spent over 4 years learning about blogging, and that's why I'm able to get this level of success. And you won't expect yourself getting this level of success in a short period of time. So from then I moved on. 2019, I discovered product design and all that. And I also went on into product design. So what I want to talk about today is what enabled me achieve success. Because I moved from learning product design and to working with a blockchain company. I started working with them as a product designer, the UI designer, and I'm currently the CEO of the company. So most time when I tell people this, they don't really understand. And I did all this without, like, all my sources in the talk. Nobody have ever asked me that, what do you study in school? My boss currently does not even know what I studied in school or whether I'm a student or not. And all this was because of what? The level of this thing, work, people call it the proof of work. It's the level of work I was able to put out there on the internet that made people to connect with me. And I wasn't held back by the normal barriers that was telling people that, okay, bring your social certificates and all that. So this, what I'm going to be teaching tonight is this thing. This, I'll be dwelling majorly on these 5 things I added on my slides. And so the first thing here is what? Selling your sawdust. And selling your sawdust is simply what? Building in public. There's a lot of people that started learning things like design or even software development, and they find it hard to share their work, or they find it hard to share what they do. Why? Because they believe they need to reach a level of expertise before they can start sharing their work. People are always very, very insecure about sharing their work in the beginning because why? They believe that people will make fun of them and all those kind of stuff. But one thing you have to understand is it's very, very important for you to learn how to build in public. And I call it selling your sawdust. And I use an analogy of a carpenter to this thing to explain this concept. And so a carpenter is, everyone here has, okay, are you guys following me? So I want to make sure because at all times, please let's be interactive. Nobody, no, the chat box has been called. So, okay, great. Benjamin says following. So we have all seen a carpenter workshop at one point, maybe probably in your streets or somewhere around your area. A carpenter, you have seen the way a carpenter workshop is. And so this selling your sawdust, I liken creatives. And when I mean creatives, I'm talking about developers, designers, marketers, and everything. I liken creatives to a carpenter. So in the beginning, of course, we know that is when a carpenter finish building a chair or a table that they display it, and people are like, "Wow, this chair looks great," and all that. But you mustn't this thing, just like the carpenter, you mustn't get to that point before you start showing people what you are building. So selling your sawdust is simply what? Sharing your process with people. And I wrote about this on my Substack blog. I gave that when a carpenter is working at first, when they get the wood, when they get the rolls of leather, when they get the nails, everything looks messy. A log of wood that was bought today from the timber market does not look attractive in any way. You understand? So, but during that process, once the carpenter gets all those tools together and starts work, he calls them up. Something remarkable always happens every evening. Depending on the place where you live, there are people that come every evening to pack sawdust from the capital workshop. These are mostly people who sell food, restaurants, people that make use of those sawdust to cook. They come there every evening to pack the this thing. So to the carpenter, that sawdust is useless, or it's in his eyes, that thing does not have any value. But the person that is coming to pack it has a use case for it. They make use of it in their business. People who run poultries make use of the sawdust to provide a form of shelter for a bedding for their floor beds and all that. So to the carpenter, that sawdust may not be of any value because this is not a byproduct of his work. But the people that are coming to carry the sawdust from his shop have use for it. So if the carpenter if he's always locking his workshop, he won't be able to get those people in to see that thing that he's doing. And most times in that process of allowing people coming to pack the sawdust, someone will eventually come in and was like, "Wow, I love the way you work. Can you also create a chair like this for me when you are done?" So what I'm trying to say, that this is a call to every creative out there, that if you are learning a skill, no matter the skill that you have to learn how to build in public. You have to learn how to learn in public. So the very first design I did in April, I started learning UI design April 2nd, 2019. Or was it April 1st or April 2nd? The very first design I did, I shared it on my WhatsApp status. And I asked people like, okay, yo, you should give me feedback on this. So I started this new thing. And I got a few laughs here and they're like, what are you doing? That kind of stuff. But people were like, okay, this is great. Okay, yeah, this looks okay. Okay, do this, do that. And I'm someone that has spent, that's another whole this thing. Okay, I'll talk about this in leveraging relationship in this thing. Sorry, I'm talking about this in using content and communities and customer and clients. What I was able to do in the WhatsApp community. But basically, I was only sharing my work on my WhatsApp status. Even when I started doing a design challenge, even though Moski always comes to Twitter to fight us with our daily UI. But so I started doing the daily UI then, but I was always sharing it on my this thing, WhatsApp status. And Moski, you caused trouble about Twitter. I just laughed that day. So I was always sharing my work, and that thing enabled a lot of people. So when I started the 100 Day Design Challenge, I did the first day, posted second. Now I told people, I'm doing a 100 Day Design Challenge. They said that I have to design every day for 100 days. So then you have to, but it wasn't like it was every day. You designed Monday to Fridays, then Saturday and Sunday were a break of days. So I started from day one. So I kept at that thing every day, and I completed that design challenge. And for most people, designing for 100 days seemed impossible for them, but I was able to pull it off. And I was always sharing it on my WhatsApp status, sharing it on my WhatsApp status. And so everybody in my network knew I was learning product design. And by the time I was done with the design, everybody was like, wow. So I think I was in the 90 something or so, and someone reached out to me, a crypto trader, and was like, he wants to be the one pager website for his crypto, a landing page that can, will I be able to design the landing page? And I was like, yeah, I will be able to do it. And so he paid me 80K for that job. I did the design, but I had to also pay the guy that was building the landing page from that money, Shan. At the end of the day, I think it was 30K or so I got from that job. And so it was very, very sweet for me because I just started learning this in April. And by around August or so, I was like, I got my first gig. Then, secondly, was so by then I already had Bitcoin Chief on my WhatsApp, and I'll teach that in the next how to build a community. So, as most people here on Instagram or Twitter, you will know that into cryptocurrencies know Bitcoin Chief. He's the CEO of Abit Network, my boss. So then now it's more like, okay, Ajulu, I still do the design, see this my app. I want to build this my app. That's I built it, but so what happened was that he wanted to build that's Abit, our real estate app, Abit Crowd. He wanted to build the app. He just did a sketch of how he wanted the app to look, and he contracted people to develop that app. So those guys didn't get a product designer to do they just coded it. The developer just coded the app anyhow based on this rough sketch. So it wasn't looking good at all. So when he sent me the app, and I was like, this is not looking good. That they were meant to give someone that does UI design to first of all design the UI before the coding. So he was like, that D was telling that will I be able to design? I said yes. And it should you take the job? Do you know how much you're charging? Asking people that are into design. Nobody wanted to give me a concrete answer. Some people they want to just type a pistol for me. Do you say? I was like, how much do you yourself charge for work? Nobody wanted to tell me how much they charge for work. I don't know what was the secret, whether it was the industry secret or them telling me it will spoil their work. I don't know. But nobody agreed to tell me how much they charge clients. So I said, okay, now I said that I just told him 80K. That was what I told him. So like, so I started designing the app. I did app back to back. I did for 1 week. I designed app under 6 days and got ready. So then it was like I didn't see it as anything, but most were like, you design. So I didn't see that, but I found out it was because this thing that I found out it was because I was able to do that daily design challenge. So I was able to do that in back to back without interruptions. So I go the design. So I did the prototype also and sent it over to him. I was like, wow, this is great. So he sent me 100K for the job. Like I did it well. I was like, wow. So he was like, okay, come and design this second app for me. And that's how he gave me the second job. I did that one to the same 100K. And I started working with him full time till today. So imagine if I was learning that design and I was not sharing it on my WhatsApp status. I was waiting for when I became an expert before I started showing, so that whenever I post my design, people will say, boss. You understand? I'm saying this because there's a lot of people out there that are actually better than me. The level of skill I had then, that was designers, but they were still hiding their design skill from the world, thinking that they have to become very, very perfect before they start sharing their work. So that's the first lesson for today, that no matter what you do, be the developer, you have to be very, very intentional about sharing your work. You have to be in public. So I saw something on Twitter last week by Hack Sultan. So let's interact, because how many people here saw that tweet by Hack Sultan that are sharing laptop to people? How many people saw that tweet by Sultan on Twitter? Nobody. You should chat. Okay, Benjamin says so. I don't. So the funny thing about that tweet, was that when they say that they are sharing laptops, I knew that of course there will have to be something that was tied to this. So people were just coming under this. People were coming under. So it was like, this laptop is for beginners and all that. So everybody was coming under his thread. Some people were even DMing, so boss pick me, this, that. I was just laughing. So I clicked on the link they shared to their website, and I went to go and read the requirements for getting that laptop. For developers, they needed to have, yes, Enyata. For developers, they needed to have a GitHub profile that is active, that showed deployed this thing. For product designer, they also had to have proof of work. So because there are a lot of people out there that are learning software development and their GitHub is empty, they're watching tutorials over and over again. There's something called the cycle of tutorials. People don't build anything, and they spend 6 months watching tutorials. So selling your sawdust simply means that the very first day you start learning, Imi can stop writing on my screen. Imi can is writing on my screen. People only do this thing during Zoom, and it's very good. So there are people out there who are learning. If you're learning a skill, you have to understand that you have to be very, very vocal about it. You have to start building in public, selling your sawdust. No matter how good you think you need to be before you start sharing, you know, if you keep waiting for when you become very, very good before you start sharing, it's going to be very, very hard for you to be noticed fast. But it's not this thing. A lot of people are always shy and all that. If you are shy, you're going to kill you. So you have to be very, very vocal about your work. Share in public. Even if it's only icon you know how to design, one icon that you designed, share it, talk about it. That's how people get to know that you're into this thing. You start building that perception in the minds of people. So even if you don't get jobs, by the time you talk about that thing consistently, after a period of time, every single person in your network knows that you do this. So if someone does not have a job for you, if they hear about that I need a software developer or I need this, they are going to. I know this guy, they carry this in for him. I call him, go sabi do am. And hear you. So because there are people out there who has big dreams, but like Grant Cardone used to say, nobody will come to your house and make your dreams come true. You have to go out there and display your work. So if nobody in your network knows what you do, there was something very, very funny happened. A guy DM'd me on WhatsApp, and he told me that please, that if I a graphic designer, that's link him up that he graphic design. What? And I was shocked because this is somebody I've been viewing his status for months. I've not seen one single design. What he posts is inspirational talks, when one like for one single day, I've not even seen Photoshop icon on his status. So I was like, for I've stickers. I've been on your contact list for a long time, and I don't know you're a graphics designer. Like if they start doing a guess of people who have graphics design, I can mention 1 million people, I mention you. And how do you want to get jobs? So he told me that he does graphic design. Like, let him send me one of my design. And his design, and I just have to thank God that Moski is not your contact, because if Moski see these things, it's going to kill you. You understand? Why? Because people don't practice. There are some people, once they just do that this thing, when they just get that basic knowledge, they're looking for. So I'm like, so I was like, so there's no way for people to know what you do if you're not sharing your work. It's very, very impossible. So if you're someone here and it's only your laptop that knows that you do graphics design, or it's only your laptop that you know that if you are learning software development, stop watching tutorials for money. You are not doing BSc. See the way I learned. See, when I was learning UI design, I ran and installed tutorials to use Figma on YouTube. It was very, very boring for me. So I just started looking for people who were designing websites. They were doing walkthrough on how they design the website. And that's how I started learning faster. So if you watch one tutorial, even if it's calculator, code it. And share. Look at the calculator I built. Because if you keep doing tutorials, this is not BSc, where you do and write exam for 4 years and they'll give certificate at the end. If you keep doing that, it will be years before you'll be able to earn from that skill. I started learning UI design in April, May, June, July. By the 5th month, I was already earning. But there are people who started learning that product design in 2018 itself, before that 2019 I started. Until then, they have not even got half job. Why? Because this is how you need to know them. Enthusiasts is always on their bio. Design enthusiasts. So enthusiasts. They are enthusiasts who are not earning anything. So you need to, like I said, I don't want to keep, I've been on one point since, let me just move on to the next point. The second point is using content and community to earn customer and clients. So I have a course called WhatsApp Domination, and because everybody have a particular platform where they learn this thing, where the brand themselves were the most. So for me was 2018, after crypto markets went down and the blogging platform started having issues and all that. I was like, okay, I need to move. I want to build my brand on another platform. Which platform should I this thing? Which platform should I build my brand on? So I checked this thing. I went through this thing. I said, okay, let me use WhatsApp. So I started. So I said, okay, now, so I practically did the same thing I was doing on my blog on WhatsApp, doing things that grew my contact list and also this thing. So let me just give a brief guide on that, uh, on how I was able to do that. So I was like, okay, I want to grow my this thing. I want to grow. I actually have a free ebook on this WhatsApp money, so okay, just send me a DM on WhatsApp and I will send you the book for those interested. So I said that okay, I want to grow my brand on WhatsApp. But one thing I said that one, WhatsApp is a closed platform. You can't go viral on WhatsApp. It's not like Twitter where that you can be like now. The way the Mala used to go viral, anybody can come to fight him. On Twitter, you can just drop a tweet, and before you know it, 100 retweets. Everybody, the whole world is coming to your to. But on WhatsApp, that's impossible. Can't go viral. It's only the people who have your contacts that can see your this thing, can see your content, nothing more, nothing less. The only way you can go viral on WhatsApp is if they are screenshotting and reposting your content, and those people can still don't have direct access to you. So I found that. So I said, okay, this platform is closed, and at the same time there are also other ads of that. So what did I do? I said that okay, I'm someone that's good with personal branding online. I want to start teaching that. So I checked my contacts. I had a system. Like, okay, how will I grow this thing? So I created the free on online personal branding. So and I sent a broadcast to all my this thing, all my contacts. I created a broadcast list for all my contacts. I told them that I have an upcoming class on this thing in WhatsApp group. I told them to share. So it's not everybody that did that, but many people posted that. So all their contacts joined the group. They immediately I discovered that this is going to be very, very stressful because I wanted to run that class on my status in 5 minutes. So I wanted those people to come over on my WhatsApp status, not the group. So I started telling everybody there to store my contacts, that the course is happening on my status, not the group, because I knew what I knew what I was working towards. So I this thing. So that was so then after I ran that class, my contacts grew and my views grew from 80 something, it was to around 100 or so. So that what I kept doing. I kept running free classes on my WhatsApp status, and my contacts kept growing. Currently, I have around 1,005 to 1,600 views on my WhatsApp status, and I've been on those platforms. I've got the job I have currently. I got to my WhatsApp status. This year, I've been able to make around, I think it's around 1.8 to 2 million naira from my WhatsApp audience. I said digital courses. So I I knew that the first stage to everything was, first of all, I needed to get people on my this thing, on my to see my work. So if you're someone that are here, you have to first of all choose what platform do you perform well on. For some people, it's Twitter. For some people, it's Instagram. So you have to first of all, as a creative, you have to choose which platform that you want to be very, very active on. And once you choose the platform, you have to double down on that platform and grow your reach. Because it's the community you build that will determine what you get. So I built a community on my WhatsApp and interacted with them, and from that, based on my community, I started discovering the different things they had issues with. A lot of people wanted to brand themselves on WhatsApp like me, so I created the WhatsApp domination course for them, and I taught them everything I knew about creating a WhatsApp brand. Some people say that they want is discipline, that they want to be disciplined like me, because doing that 100-day design challenge and completing it, people were like, how are you able to do this? So I have another course called Superhuman, then the Rule of Five, which I'll be talking about in this thing in next. So what? I was able to build that community. How do you build a community on the internet? Is by giving value. Even if you are selling a product, so I mean, people know people know those people where once they wake up in the morning, especially those people that do importation, they will post USB status of shoes or bags. Those kind of people end up with time, you just meet their status because you're like, this person is just always. So if you are here, you are trying to build a brand on this thing, on any social media platform, you have to understand that nobody opens WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook in the morning and say, let me look for a shoe to buy. Does it mean you can't sell? You can sell, but you have to give them what they're coming to find first, which is content. There are 3 types of content you can post on social media: educational content, informational content, and entertaining content. Those are the 3 kinds of stories. You can teach people something, you can inform them, you can entertain them. Those are what people are coming from WhatsApp. Nobody's coming to see your bag. But so you can create content. So depending on what you sell or the kind of brand that you have, controversial content falls under entertainment, Instablog and co. It falls under entertainment. Is Instablog. Instablog is the master of that one. So people are coming for content. So even if you must sell, you have to be well versed in the art of content marketing. Content marketing is simply creating the type of content that drives demand for your product. How many people here knows Zikoko magazine? Zikoko magazine. People in the chat box. People talk with me. People, yeah, those people can sell any lifestyle product they want. Why? Because their content is top notch. They can sell anything they want on the back of their content. So that's the same thing for you. So if you don't know how to do content marketing, go and learn content marketing. Don't just wake up and be posting your designs only. Do things that are related to design. A great example, when it comes to design, and when it comes to content marketing, there's a platform I love using as example the most because that guy has mastered it. So there's a software called Slide Let me type it in the chat box. Slide You can check that YouTube channel later. So they sell a presentation software like PowerPoint that people in companies can use to run presentation. But if you go to the YouTube channel, you will see all kinds of videos about starting and running a company. So you might think that, why is this guy creating this kind of content? Is he running a business school? No, but he knows that once people come for that is people who want to start a business that are searching for this kind of content. And when they stumble across this content and they use it to set up their business, tomorrow, when they want to get presentation software, it will be the first person that will come to their mind. So because they will say, this guy that I learned this entrepreneurship things from the channel, he also does this pitch deck stuff. Let me go and patronize him. You understand? So everybody here knows this, you know the value you offer. So you have to ask yourself that the person that needs my product, what is their desires? What do they need help with? Those are the kind of content you need to start creating. So even if you sell shoes and bags, you can start creating content like how to look good on a budget, how to how to mix clothing during the Harmattan, like things that educate people about clothes. So that when people come to read about those things, they will not be seeing your clothes. You can now add your clothes picture at the end and say, bam. So by then, people will see that, okay, this person have educated me, or this person has taught, let me buy from him. So it doesn't mean you can't post your wares, or it doesn't mean that you can't post your products on social media or talk about what you do. But you have to ask yourself that when people are coming to this social media, what are they looking for? They're looking for content. So that's what you should provide for them. So provide content that is educational, informative, or entertaining that is tied to your product. So it's what holds people attention that you'll be able to sell to them. That's just the basis of all those things. So using content and community to earn customers is a strategy I've used for years. I said it using it for my blog. It has worked over and over again. Create content that points out a problem. Provide a blog that shows a solution. This is the principle. Don't just talk about your product. Create content that will point people to why they need your product. So when people are coming for content, by the time they finish consuming your content, they'll even see more reasons to buy from you. So if you're someone that you're always posting ways status, stop it, because you're just annoying people, or people that send endless broadcasts. No, educate people. You have to be able to say yourself where the eyes and ears of people are. On WhatsApp, it's status, not DM. The people that buy my courses, the guy that bought my course last month, he said, "Boss, I've been following you since October last year. Your content is good." I said, "October last year, not even October this year, October last year." And they just buy my course now. But if I was sending him broadcast messages, he would have blocked me by now. But because I was doing everything I was doing on my WhatsApp tools, the person can view it at their own time. So over time, I was able to convert him. So the people that will buy from you now, the people that will buy from you in 6 months' time, the people that will buy from you in 1 year time, don't annoy them before they can be able to get the chance to buy from you. Don't piss them off, and they will block you or mute you, because you are doing. I don't even know how to describe. I don't even know how to describe it. So, like I said, I'm trying to keep myself this thing. Moving on to the rule of 5. So, rule of 5 is a concept that I adopted from John Maxwell, and I'm able to really flesh it out. And because he talked about it. John Maxwell taught the rule of 5 from the aspect of leadership, but I was able to adapt it, and based on my experience over the years, to find out the formula for when it comes to skills. As a creative, the first is you need to read, you need to write, you need to ask questions, you need to document, you need to think. Those 5 things. Read, let me type it in the chat box. So who knows I'm speaking French. Read, think, write, ask questions, document. So these 5, and also I have I have a rule of 5 course. Over 120 people have taken that course, and I've been getting countless testimonies from it. So the rule of 5 is basically what is the blueprint that anybody here can use to. So no matter if is everybody here? Because I've asked this question before, that if you're here and you're not a designer, it's like it's only designers that are here. We have but read. The first is read. So you have to be someone that is very, very widely read. You have to, if you're not a voracious reader, like Cyprian said, it will be very impossible for you to achieve success in any field, because you don't even know the industry trends. So reading is the first. There's people that don't like reading. And wait, when I say read, you have to understand that it doesn't have to do with only reading books. There's some people that learn best with videos. There's some people that learn best with audio, podcast. So when I'm saying read, it mustn't be just books. So if you're someone that you learn best with video, that's your read, videos. If you're somebody that, meanwhile, a quick shout out to my mentor when it comes to the best podcast in the world, Naval. Check Naval on all podcast platforms, mostly Google Podcasts. I think it's on Stitcher too. Naval. Everybody else should go and listen to Naval's podcast on how to get rich without getting lucky. So once you subscribe to Naval, install Google Podcast, scroll down. You don't go and read. Start from the first one. That's podcast changed your life. How many people here know visualize value? Jack Butcher. How many people here know visualize value? Jack Butcher. So no visualize value people in the house. I'm a visualize value member. Jagbucha started visualize value after listening to that Navals. He read the thread and I think he was listening to the podcast. And that's what brought the visualize value. So that's a very, very powerful. So I hope people are taking notes of the different things you need to go and study after this section, because I'm someone that gives assignments. So as you read, and right here for designers also means what? Design. Because I'm talking about this from I'm more of a content creator though than a designer. The kind of design I did these days is this thing. I'll share my design story later. So for you, a designer, your own rights might be what? Designing. Like I talked about designing every day during my challenge. You have to design, you have to create, be it coding, you have to code constantly, and you have to also publish it, like I said. So it's when you read, that's watch tutorials and take action, then think is what meditation is. When you think that you start finding out concepts, because whenever you're learning a skill, whenever you're starting out, what you do is mostly copying. So there's something called borrowing brilliance, but this thing, most people don't know the difference between. Austin Close said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." The difference between copying and stealing. But that's something I don't want to really delve into. But still, most everybody starts up, they get inspiration from somewhere. But as time goes on, as you go in deeper into the field and go through multiple sources, you find that you start combining a whole lot of those inspiration, and you start finding something that is more unique to you. So of course, there's nothing original, but if you combine 2 or 3 parts, you'll be able to come with your own your own unique pattern. Right? Let me just call it pattern of doing a job. So there's some people now, once I say designer, and that there's a particular guy in our favor, our company designer. Anywhere I see his design, I know that this favor that designed this thing. Anywhere I see it, even if I see it in a Moroccan person page, I know that this is favor's design. Why? Because over time he has been able to create a kind of blueprint for himself, his own design fingerprints. So when you start off, you do more of copying, but you shouldn't remain. Most people don't remain in that stage. Because of course there's a process to this thing called design, or let me just say design, because everybody has a design. If you're not a designer, be applying to your own field. There's a process to this thing called design. So starting off, of course, you're going to be taking inspiration, but as time goes on, the more you put in the work, the more you take that you start coming up with unique concepts. So if you're a beginner, most people want to stay in that beginner stage forever. Just get a template for 3 years, that's still in the same place. So if you're a designer now and December 1st, and what you designed in June doesn't look ugly to you, you're not growing. I remember when I was doing my UI design, that first design I did, I was feeling like a boss. I was like, wow, this thing is great. Fast forward to 3 months later, I was like, who designed this rubbish? And the same thing actually happened when I was blogging. Whenever I go back to read my earlier blog post, I'm like, what was going through my mind when I was writing this rubbish? Why? Because I've gotten better over time. So my previous works, I remember the day Moski posted his original works on Twitter, people were shouting, hey. So it's process. You can't expect the man to remain in one place forever. So as long as the person is constantly refining what he does, as long as you're constantly putting things into action, don't be a designer in your head. Don't be a design enthusiast that once you just learn how to put icons up and down, just rest. You someone just used to do people here used to see those people that used to do 3D logo. Those 3D logo that has been rampant now, an atrocity. How many people used to see those 3D logo? Those people feel like they're the best designer, like they're the super designers in the world. And the people that used to that are using it to this thing, I would say I think posted something. I think it was the man that posted that thing where he did a very, very good design for somebody. I was like, no, I want that other type. They wanted the 3D logo. You understand? And the people who do this thing, they feel that they're the top of the world. Like they're on the top of the world. That this is the best designs on earth. You understand? So if you are if you are on the brick, yes, that one is one of brick wall. So if you are, there are designers that That's their level of expertise. So once they learn that thing, they believe they have learned design. There's nothing wants to tell them that there's nothing wants to tell them that they will call them brand designers. So, and there's nothing wants to tell them that they will believe you. You understand? Bridget said that he said I should make it more classy. You understand? So there are people, you understand? So if you're someone who do design, you must need to remain in that spot forever. You need to move on. So of course, starting off, your designs won't look good and all that, but you shouldn't remain in one spot forever. You have to grow constantly, so that, like I said, if you're a designer here and something you design in June still looks good to you, you're not growing. That's just the truth. So the next one is thinking. Okay, I talk about thinking. Asking questions is what? Google. There's nothing that pains me like creatives who don't know how to use Google. You tell somebody about something, or you make a post about something, and you want people to go on Google and search. The next thing I engineer say, boss, explain this thing to me. And I tell them, even if I give you a reply, I can only give you one. But once you type this thing into Google, Google will show you 200,000, 300,000 results. And you will find out that maybe even the one I'm operating with has even, maybe there's a newer way of doing that thing that just came out and I didn't even know. You understand? So you have to be, Google should be your friend. I remember when I won, during the university days, someone, this thing, a lecturer asked a question in class, and when people were still trying to, I just put on my phone, open a new tab on Chrome, new tab, typed those starting with one finger. I didn't know the lecturer was watching me. I just typed it, and within 15 seconds, I got the answer, and I stood up and answered it. And everybody was looking at me because they don't answer question in class. Like, wow, how, you understand? So the lecturer just smiled and said I was correct. Then he said something that this guy is very, very deadly. Because I started using Google in 2011. So I mean, who here started using Google by that time? By 2011, already using Google. I started using Google 2011. There is nothing now I can't find on the internet. Like when I say there's nothing, a friend of mine was looking for something, and the person just watched me work. It was like she wanted to look for something. I just collected her laptop, and after I got that thing, she said she was scared of my children, that they won't be able to hide anything from me when it comes to the internet. You understand? So there's nothing I can't find on Google. Why? I've mastered the use of Google over time. Google is my best friend. I usually ask Google before I ask a human being a question. I'll ask Google first. It's not maybe I don't see an answer on Google before I come and start asking anyone. But there's people that will first ask you. So someone will need an answer to a question, and you will not be online, no. But they would rather wait till you're online. They'll just ask that. They would rather wait for you until you come online to come and answer that question than rather to go on Google and get the answer. Some of them will even call you on phone. So Google should be your best friend. Ask questions. When I say ask questions, it's not just human beings. You should be know how to ask Google questions. You should know how to ask Google questions. So asking questions should be your hobby, because that's how you grow. There's a whole of, see, if I start sharing the amount of resources I found on the internet by being curious, I will not finish this session. I have a server where I document things I found. That's the fifth rule in the is document. Because as you search and document, you come across a whole lot of resources, and you find out that there are some things you will find that you won't need immediately. But once you document them, like now, there are some things I'm using now that I created on my online server in 2017. I've been documenting there since. There are some things I'm using in this year that I documented in 2017, 2018, 2019. I just go back there and retrieve it. So everybody should have a personal library. You should have a personal design library No, it's not even ask. Say, come and ask, Moski. As you cross countless resources, the ones that you see that is valuable, even if you don't know, even if you don't need it now, document it. You see that with there's time you come, you still have need for that resource. You can easily go and retrieve it. But if you don't document, there are things that I forgot to document that haunts me. There's a particular resource I didn't document. Something I don't know what carried me off. Then some weeks later, I almost cried because I had that on a platter of gold. I ended up spending lots of money for it. So documentation should be your best friend. Documentation. You'll be able to. You are not reading. If you're not reading and asking questions, you have to do. I'm back. Oh, I can you guys hear me now? Okay, so I'm being. Someone is interrupting my. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this thing. The next thing I'm talking about is, let me share my screen again. Okay, my screen has left. Oh, this is my wahala for this. Oh, my this thing. Can you guys hear me? It's saying Zoom can't detect my microphone, but my mic is on. Let me check the chat section. Okay. Someone said, "Tell us say you are busy." Which her? Whenever I tell people that I'm single, they don't used to believe me, but that's the fact. Anyways, let me continue. So, leveraging relationships and social media is the this thing. So everything I've talked about here today actually revolves around the relationship. So if you're someone that you are already selling your sawdust, if you're someone that is selling your sawdust on social media, you find out that people find out with time, people around, everybody in your network would this thing, everybody in your network would be able to know what you do. And with time, I told you of how people started reaching out to me to do designs for them because I this thing, I was very, very vocal about what I do. So, and also I've also shared how I was able to build on any social media platform. And when this thing they come to me and they tell me that this software thing they pay. Another thing that is process that pay is, so doesn't mean use of money. There's a process to everything. There's a process to everything. So, some people come and tell me that, Ajulu, I want to learn design. And other than that, okay, for any skill you are learning, it might take you 6 to 18 months of constant practice before you start earning a significant amount of money from that. And they're like, that this thing is too long. And I'm always like, 18 months is too long. And you find that at the end of the day, the person will spend more than that time looking for a shortcut. You understand? So also, another reason because we talked about professional tutorial watchers here, And is also ties back to that a lot of people are stuck in tutorials and action. Why? They're always looking for a shortcut. But the truth is that for any skill you are learning, you have to put in the work. It is the work you put in, is that process that determines the results that you're going to get from that skill. Nothing more, nothing less. But a lot of people, they're always eager to bypass that process, that work process. They always believe that they should be able to be a shortcut. And they will end up wasting more time looking for shortcuts than going through the right process. So when it comes to leveraging relationship and social media as a creative, you have to first of all do things. This thing, yes, is Daniel. What Daniel says, right? Do things that grow your audience. Make sure that for any platform you choose, do things that constantly reach. As you get more followers, create the kind of content that enables you to get more followers. On Twitter, people always very thing. People are always very crazy about getting followers. Follow me back. Those kind of you don't grow. You can never grow a sustainable follower that way. So, for example, someone like me now, I use Twitter like a school. That's how I use Twitter. This is we're entering into the realm of becoming superhuman, because that's superhuman was a guy that created to help people spend days doing a whole lot of things, and by the end of the day, they have not achieved any single thing. Procrastination and perfection is killing people. I know that some of you that have said that there's books you say you want to read, or it's a person course you want to do, but up to now you're not able to do it. So we live in a society where distraction is paramount. So when it comes to social media, most people feel that this thing. Do you know that there are UX engineers working at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Their job is to keep you on those platforms for as long as possible every day. That's their job. So if you're somebody that you're not proactive and serious, spend 1 year on WhatsApp or Instagram, scrolling, and before you know it, white hair don't come out. You're not achieving life. So, but at the same time, I found out that social media has become a very, very integral. It's not something that we can wish away. It's like, as a creative, it's a place where you can get access to opportunities. So I made up my mind very early that if I'm going to be using social media, I'm going to I need to see contents that help me grow. I need to see content that challenges me to get better. There are certain people on my WhatsApp. One of them is Chris Annie. The man knows Chris Annie. His status used to light fire in my belly. Anytime I see status updates, I used to think about my life. I just call my WhatsApp. I'm gonna start work. Even if I'm lazy that day, once I see Chris' status, I say no. What this? I have work to do. Those are the kind of people you need to follow. I don't do follow for follow. There are people that have fought with me because of that. Any on my Twitter, any single person I'm following on Twitter, I'm following that person because I'm learning from the person. I'm not sentimental about that at all. Like, I've had people who have a person girl blocked me that because I didn't follow her back. I said I don't care. The people I'm following, they're not following me back. And in 100 years, I'm never gonna tell them why you're not following me back. I know I'm following them. I don't give 2 cents if they're following me or not. That's their business. Me, I know I'm following them. I'm learning from them. That's why because I found that this social media is impossible for me to get off it totally. So it's better I convert it to a school. So I don't do any, because I know that post all kinds of rubbish content, especially on WhatsApp. So if the person is not adding value to my life in any way, if they're not creating, it's not that I won't have fun, but even if you're posting entertaining content, it should also make sense. So if the person is not posting sane, informative, educative, and entertaining content, that have interest in is because because what you have to understand is that the fact that somebody is posting good content doesn't mean you have to follow them. Because if you enter your university now, you got admission to study law. If you enter engineering class and sit down, no matter how great that class is, it's not for you. You don't get anybody because that's not what you came to university to study. So when I'm following people, even if the person content is very, very good, I ask myself, is this my area of interest? No, I'm not following the person. So I check myself that what is my 10-year goals? Who are the people that I've gotten to the way I'm aiming to get? I'll not check among them. How many people among them are creating? Because anybody that creates content, there's some people that are very, very good, but they're not active on social media. So I go out and seek the ones. Daniel say, how will I be versing that Chris who doesn't follow me back? So I check the ones. I check the ones that Henry just. I uninstalled the Twitter app. I only access Twitter via so, because in as much as I've put those things in place, I put extra checks in place. So even so, I my followings that every single tweet is a hit back to back. I found in Twitter, I must back something. That's how serious my Twitter is. My Twitter Ajulu, I'm following only 200 and something people. So if the I don't say that this person is my church member or this person is my cousin. If your content is not what I have I'm not following you for any reason. Because I understand that these platforms has become a very, very integral part of our life. We waste time on them every day. So, and you know that there's no way, there's no how you have to open them or use them. Ensure that anytime you're opening them, it should be for any purposes. So that you need to follow people that once you come on Twitter, once you see a post, you get angry and go back and start working. Because you'll be thinking, what am I doing with my life? Those are the kind of people you need to follow. Not the kind of people that will be posting bans, vibes, and inshallah. So it's very, very important. So I created this Superwoman guide. I think it was 3 months or 4 months ago. And in that Superwoman guides, I'll give you a summary of it. In that Superwoman course, I gave a brief run of things that a lot of people are struggling with. I now created a productivity blueprint for different kinds of people. I created a productivity blueprint for people who work a 9 to 5 but are learning a skill on the side. I created one for students because there's some people that there are people that have excess faith in the current educational system. No matter how you tell them about learning a skill, they believe that they serve a living God. That once they finish school, job is waiting for them. So no matter how you talk to them about this thing, no matter how you talk to them about learning a skill or getting a tech skill or learning alternate skills, they believe. Damola, what do you study in school again? Damola, please remind us. Damola, I think something I have to do with economics. You see, Damola is meant to be a farmer. He studied agricultural economics. So if Damola was waiting to get the agri engineering this thing, how I go down the wire. What job there for this country? I remember. He said we're selling onions now. I remember when I was in school and I was talking to my classmates about learning a skill. I studied banking and finance. I was talking to my class about getting a skill. They always look at me like I was the most odd person in my class because I looked like a doomsday prophet. They almost called me Jeremiah, Lamentations, because I was always talking about the importance of learning a skill. That's the way the economy is. Are people blind? You used to see their Facebook posts. They always posting one. They don't have job. All are in the house. And you believe is that God have sent special angels on your case that he hates other people. Other people that are not getting job, they're not serving God well. You're the only one that is serving God. So I told him that people have to help themselves. Asu have made people are in 400 level for 3 years now. So I thought listen, I used to talk about it then, learning a skill, and the people my classmates always sound like a mad guy. There's a guy in particular, this thing. There's a guy in particular that I used to talk about then. He was always talking about his home, of how things were rough at home. That is this thing, that's this thing, that's that is the parents don't, his mother is not sending him money constantly. I said, okay, I see you're still complaining that your mother, you are in second year of university, and you are still with all the, even school gave you all of us laptop. I use my laptop to start. I've used my laptop to blog and make money, and you're still here complaining that school is not giving me, they're not sending you enough money from home. So then I was always talking about him to I was talking about him then to start learning a skill now in school. He was always telling me that no, he was always telling me this, that, this, that, this, that. No matter what I said, he was like, okay, he has heard. And there are people that their eyes usually open after school, they graduate, and there are people that graduate after their eyes open after NYSC. So I started the UNN, unique campus. So I started so after a while it now looks as if I'm a demon that was getting, I left all of them alone. My friend, I stopped talking to them. I just started focused on my this thing. I just started this thing. I focused on my brand. I was just building my brand on my blog. I didn't talk to anybody again. Now this same guy messaged me 4 months ago, and he was like telling me that there are problems at home. He does not have a job. Since I finished, no job. That his father have told him that he's man enough to take care of himself. Things like that. And it broke my heart because this is the person I spent 3 years talking to this guy about getting a skill. And he was always seeing. Now, lots of my classmates now, the message me like they're telling me that, oh, it's now I'm seeing this and you're telling me then no. But I used to think that we are just talking rubbish. You understand? So it's because that discipline is not there. Matthew said MacBook Air. That so this in the Superman guide, I talked about a whole lot of things there that would this thing. So I'll just go. It's a book I wrote. I'll just talk about one. I'll just talk about one of the chapters here. In this chapter, I talked about the 4 pillars. The mind. The 4 pillars are. I hope we're all listening. Because like the chat box is not too. Some people are focusing why we're here. You can come here now. You finish laughing, and then of this section you didn't take anything away because we are just focusing on bands and inshallah that is happening in the chat box. So I talked about the 4 pillars in one of the chapters of Superhuman. So the mind, health, heart, and soul. So the mind has to do with everything about how you see the world and also how you react to things. So a positive mindset is always important when it comes to achieving success. So there are people who always believe that they always see the negative parts of things. Pessimists. So they are always the people always see them. So there's a saying that pessimists are smart, while optimists are rich. So you need to you need to feed your mind with the right things because it is the state of your heart that determines the state of your life. So if you're one of the people that believe that this design thing, no, you know, ever fit get job or Silicon Valley, you continue designing for the people that will this thing that will tell you that you should code the app too. That you cannot code the app too. That don't worry. There's some people that finish coding design an app and they say, I thought you code it for me. How many of those things? How many people are those? Those are the kind of clients that this thing that you used to jam. That they'll tell you that I just I go code them. So only design and you're charging this big money. You keep on jamming those kind of clients if you don't. Okay, let me tell you guys a story. These are industry secrets, but I'm someone that I don't like. I like sharing secrets because it's sharing my secrets that got me to this level. The more I share my secrets and the more everybody knows my secrets, the more I'm pressured to get new secrets and get higher. Because if you're someone here and you're a creative and you're hiding your knowledge, of course, I'm not saying you should tell everybody your all your knowledge, but there are some things you have to share. The truth about it is that eventually you have to share everything. That's just the truth. So you might withhold for a time period. Like my rule of five, I made use of the rule of five for years, and actually I ended up creating a course on it, and a lot of people have been using it now. Same thing with the Superwoman. So let me tell you why sharing your knowledge is important. Is that once you share everything you know, we see human beings, we are very, very lazy. But everybody knows your secret. It will not push you to move higher. Because now everybody really knows what you know. You have to automatically level up. So sharing your secrets helps you level up. So you can hold on to it, but the more you hold on to it, you remain at that level. It's the day you decide to share that secret that you level up. Because now once everybody knows it, everybody's already doing that thing. You say, okay, now time to level up. And at the same time, it's not everybody that also act on it, like Daniel is saying. But some people act on it. So I want to share the story of what this thing. This goes back to this thing. There's something I do, and I was able to carry out this thing successfully because I was applying the rule of five aggressively. I was reading everything that I had to do. Okay, let me first of all talk. I said I would tell you guys my design story. So design was something I've had interest in for over 4 years now, and I was always talking about design. I was not a graphic designer by then, no. But if I'm walking on the road and I see a poorly designed billboard, I'll be angry. What is the meaning of this rubbish? Who designed this rubbish? And my friends were always like, what is happening? What is this? Are you a designer? What's your business with somebody's billboard? So I was always doing that. And because why? I'm someone that's due to this thing, due to what I've read over time, I had a lot of knowledge in my head. I also had there's a particular skill I have, pattern recognition. Not a lot of people that know that thing, but I was able to. Once you have that skill of pattern recognition, you're able to link up a whole lot of things, even things that doesn't look related. You're able to link them in a way that will make them make sense and be related. So one day I was walking with my friend along the road, and I saw an ad, and it was like, look at this ad. This one is perfect. You don't have any complaint about this ad. And to say the truth, the design was very, very beautiful. It was an ad for a foam. I think it was one of these foam. It was not Mocha, but it was a foam shop. Their name starts with M2. So the graphic designer did a great job. He perfect everything about that billboard was perfect, but I was still angry. And as I said, then my friend was like, why are you angry? What is wrong with this billboard now? You say it's fine. I said, yeah, but there's a mistake there. They made a mistake, but it's not the graphic designer that made the mistake. I told him, look at the advert again. There was a lady in the advert. She was lying down on the bed sleeping. No, they just snapped her sleeping. They just snapped from my head. I said, look at the billboard again. He looked at it. He said, there's nothing wrong with it. I said, look at it. Look deeply. He looked. He said, okay, just tell me what's really. I said, the lady in this advertisement, she had full makeup on. And I said, how many times have you seen ladies go to bed with their full makeup on? He was like, he said, it's true. So for the ladies here, do you people go to bed with your makeup on? Because I know that before ladies get they take off the makeup, they use spirit and clean. Only know some people use spirit, some use holy water. I don't know what they used to use, but they used to clean off the makeup before they sleep. So that ad was not realistic. You showed the woman, and they were doing that thing because they were trying to make the ad look fine, but in a bit to make the ad look fine, they made it unrealistic because no lady goes to bed with makeup on. So that ad would have been more realistic if the lady didn't have a makeup on. You understand? So I was someone that was very, very very, very receptive to the design. But I didn't know any jack about graphics design. So when I got my first laptop, I rushed to go and install Photoshop. Children of God, Photoshop frustrated me. I saw all those buttons on Photoshop is from the devil because they confused me. I was like, what is the button for? So the Photoshop, after battling with Photoshop for some days, I gave up. And I uninstalled Photoshop. I said, this design thing is not for me. It is not for me. Because even YouTube tutorial was not I was just everything was just called, even going to look for tutorial on YouTube was not helping me anyway. So I was like, this design thing is not for me. All these buttons that is on this Photoshop, I have nothing, there's nothing that will keep me, there's nothing that will bring me with them in contact. So, but I still found myself that I was still interested in design. If I see a design article, I will document because I've really documented. I will document. I say, why am I documenting this article now? Or why am I? I don't. I'm not in. Jebidi design does not frustrate me. What it concern me with this design thing again now? You understand? But even after uninstalling Photoshop, I was still following design related accounts on Twitter, liking that tweet, engaging with that tweet. I said, okay, oh, till April last year, and I discovered that there's something called UI design. I said, here, which one is this one? UI design. I installed Figma on my laptop, and it was just easy for me. God, I was just in heaven. Figma was straight to the point. I watched tutorial, everything was just click. I say, oh, so this is the kind of design I'm meant to be doing. Product design, not graphics design. I say, wow. So okay. So I started this thing. But the funny thing actually was that I was not a UI designer. I was in the wrong thing. So like I told you guys, I started getting jobs. I was doing the job. Design was okay, but at the time I was being stressed. Like if somebody bring a job after that first energy of doing those first few apps I did, I started getting tired. Somebody will bring a job to me, the job that I should be able to do in maybe 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm still struggling with the job. Like if the person come and say correct this thing, it should be war. So I was like, I thought I love design. Why is design hard for me? So it was not then, and I discovered that the kind of design I am is it was my design was purely UX. Because I remember when I asked somebody that I met a lady that was a UX researcher, and she was like, no, she does not do UI, that she just does research, UX research. That's what she does. And that was down, and I discovered that this is my kind of design, no. And that's what I've been focusing on since. So I work with, like I've said, I work with Abit Network. My job now is, my boss say we want to build, this is the platform we want to build. I'll go and do research. What are the features that this platform need? Because we're a blockchain company, so it's very, there are few, even you want to get, there are few places you can get inspiration, and even our business model as a company is quite different from what's out there. So what I do is that I study our business models as a company, and that's like, okay, what are the features we need on this app? So when I'm done with all those things, I'll now create a design document and hand over to the UI designer. They'll start designing the platform. That's what I do now. That's the kind of design I do. So everybody here is probably better at UI design than me. Even this now project now. I started designing it by 8 o'clock. It's when the Mola say it's almost time. When I rushed, that's when I rushed and do this thing I designed now. That's when I went to go and do it on Figma. I just put this thing together on Figma. I don't even know whether it looks fine or not. I just bah. So it's this thing. So okay, I came here because I wanted to share something with you guys on why reading. And also when you're studying as a designer, don't just study only design. Who are you serving as a designer? You're serving companies. So you need to also start reading about startups, because it's all this knowledge that enabled me carry out this now about to teach you guys now successfully. Last year, someone came to me. He wanted to build a cryptocurrency investment platform where people can deposit. He was like, he just wants it to a place where people can deposit money and this thing, invest this thing. People can invest. He called this. I don't know to mention the company name. So, but it was basically cowrie wise, but with a touch of crypto, something like that. So he was like, he said that I'll be following you on your WhatsApp, and that I know you're a UI designer. That's how much, and I was still relatively new then. It was like, how much will you use and design this platform for me, the web app? That web app, the web. I was like, because you see his web app. I was like, how much will I charge this guy now? But by then I already had sufficient knowledge. So I went through the this thing. I went through the this thing, what's needed. So, but I didn't. There's some of you that once somebody comes to you and said, how much will you use to design this thing for me? Don't tell them price. You hear what I said? If you tell them price, they'll say, up to you. You have lost that person. No, they go and start looking for another cheap person. The person will do this for lesser price. But if you're somebody that you're not well read, you'll not be able to do this now. I'm about to tell and teach you guys. So you start with reading. If you're not reading, it's to. So what? So when you came to me and said, how much will you use to design this app? I didn't call a price for him. I said, what are you building? he started telling me, describing the business to me. He said, okay, he said, that's what I want to build. Okay, how much? I said, calm down, Oga. That this your business model won't really work here in Nigeria. I know you do forex trading, you want to do the money and all those kind of crypto forex trading with the funds, but you run into issues. And I started giving him business advice. We spent 4 days on WhatsApp chats, going back and forth. I said that this your ROI is too high. Break this thing down to create a plan for students, create a plan for business people, give students higher ROI, give them for class students this thing. Students don't get money much, give them a higher ROI, then reduce the ROI for working class people. Break this. I started giving him. By the time I'm done, I've totally helped him perfect and upgrade his business model. And I said, we have been talking. He was like, we have been talking for 1 week now, and I have not even talked about this. You have not even told me how much you use and design this. I said, let me send you my invoice. I just went and designed. I just entered Figma and just designed one kind of invoice like this, 400K sent to him. He was like, it's too big. I said, I told him that this is the 400K I'm going to charge you for this. Like, I know that based on our discussions over the past over 1 week, almost a week now, we see that the value I'm bringing is even goes beyond UI design. That is this 400K I can do. He told me, he told me actually this money is too big. I told him that's what I'm charging, and I'm not even removing 1 naira. He said, okay, I'll get back to you. But when he was telling me I'll get back to you, I was not afraid. I knew that based on the level of value I'm able to provide with him, I said that I told myself that the only way this guy won't get back to me is if he decides not to launch this platform again. That's the only way he won't get back to me. I just told myself, I continued doing my other things. So he went on and said, I think it was 6 weeks, maybe 2 months later. He now came back. He told me that that he's finally ready to be this platform, or that I'm still the best person for the job, that he will be able to pay me that 400K that I talked about. And I laughed. I told him that, because this is what I told you guys, that if this December 1st, if the design you did in July or June still looks fine to you, you're not growing. So I told him that, Oga, that the Ajulu you're talking to now is different from the Ajulu that you talked to 3 weeks, 2 weeks ago. That I've done serious upgrade though. I can't collect that 400K again. He was like, you say, what's the meaning of this? I told him I was sending my new invoice. I went back, created another invoice for him, and I changed it to dollars. See, you want to see how low you're charging people, turn it to dollars. You see that you're not charging anything. So I said that. So 400K, I told him then was around 400K, then was like $1,100 or so. Then at exchange rates, then around $1,100. I put it at $1,600. I said, and I said, okay, I said, okay, discount of $100. I said, I'm charging you $150, $1,500 for this job. And the guy was like, he was like, no, now. So I said, change it to Naira. We exchanged it to Naira then. It was 740K. The guy was like, I told him that's what I'm collecting. I'm not taking 1 penny. The next thing I heard was like, send your account. I sent my account. He dropped half of the money, 120K, and I started job. That's how I secured the deal. So I wasn't able to do that thing because if he has come that first day, and I told him 400K, you'd say, okay, bye. There will be nothing binding two of us together, because I'm just like, there's nothing differentiating me for other UI designer out there. You can go out and get another person and do the job. But due to the fact that I spent time with him to refine his business idea, did full consulting for himself, he couldn't go and meet another person again. Because even the thing he wants to design, it was what I crafted that he wants to design. So who is the best person to design is but not me? It's just like you now. You want to build a Ferrari, and you want to go and carry Ferrari blueprint and give Mercedes engineers. They'll not be able to build it like Ferrari engineers. No matter how good the Mercedes engineer is, they'll not be able to I feel like the Ferrari engineers that have spent time drawing those blueprints. So it was very, very hard for the guy to leave me. And even though I increased the price by added extra $400 to them, he still had to pay. So that was before I now quit UI design. I started working my company. So if a designer here and the only thing you know is just to give people invoice and tell them I'm taking this amount, there's no other knowledge in your head, there's no industry secrets you can give to people. You always be losing jobs. So the way for you to stand in the marketplace is your knowledge you have, is knowledge you have. We have 66 people or so, 65 people here. Majority of them is what's the difference from other designers in the marketplace? That was you asking yourself now. So because it's easy for anybody that just invoice, just drop the invoice, drop it like it's hot. But if you really want to if you really want to make impact, you have to know your design job in and out. You have to also know that as a designer, you are serving the corporate world. You are serving startups. You need to know many things about startups. So that when somebody's coming to you and saying, I want to build so app, because most people don't have, the only thing they have is ideas. They don't have to make that thing work well. By the time you sit them down and walk them through how they will be able to perfect that business model and make it work for them, they will be glued to you. Because that guy even offered me to become his COO after all those things, but I couldn't take the job. They'll be glued to you because they're like this. You're like the Joseph that interpreted the dream of, just like the same way Joseph interpreted Pharaoh's dream perfectly, and Pharaoh told him, "You are the person that will carry out this," and I made him prime minister. That's what you should be doing for anybody that is bringing job to you. Collect that dream that you have of building, and totally help them transform that idea. The only thing that they can is not. I'm not saying you're not gonna start excessively charging them more, but you're able to get quality jobs that way. So talking about the 4 pillars, going back to the 4 pillars as a designer, your mind is. I talk about the mind. The next thing is your health. You need to take your health and nutrition, because if you break down, you won't be able to do the job. Now the designer, when they're alive, they design. So if you are not watching your health, it's very, very hard for you to to function properly. So for me now, I stopped taking soft drink in August or so. I've not taken all these Coke, Fanta, Sprites, I've stopped all of since August. I stopped. If I don't have money for fruit juice, I'll drink water. That is up to around 4 months now. So because my health is very, very important to me. Then the third thing is heart, because I mentioned first in heart. This includes your well-being and your emotional state. So you have to, especially people that work with startups, if you're always fighting with your co-workers, they just sack you. So your heart should be very, very important. If someone offends you, tell the person, unexpressed emotions never die. They will always be there in the surface, and one day it will just flare up. That's why you see husband and wife, they broke up, they ended their marriage. You see what's caused fight? They said that the husband said that she's always pressing toothpaste from the center. That's not what ended the marriage. It's what they've been bottling up since that ended the marriage. That toothpaste matter was just the trigger. Because how can you end the marriage because your wife is pressing toothpaste on the bottom? No, it's other issues that have been piling up, and that one now served as the trigger. Yes, because when people didn't. I've heard the story. I heard the story now. Like they quarreled because of the wife is always pressing the toothpaste from the center instead of the bottom. But that's not what ended their marriage. That's not what really ended their marriage. They've been having other issues, but they're not expressing it. So the same way with you, that's some startups you enter. It should be as if you're in a relationship with those people. So if you don't really share out, if anybody offend you, can't be the person. Me now, there's somebody that is too big. I say, I don't like this thing you did. We settle it. It's better than expressing and let your mind be free. Not when you see the person, you have to cut. So always clear issues as they arise. Then the fourth one is soul. This has to do your spiritually. No matter your faith, maybe Christian, Muslim, no matter the kind of faith that you profess, it's very, very important you take your spirituality very, very seriously. So read your Bible daily, read your Quran daily. No matter these things are very, very important, because there are a lot of things that battle with our minds. And your spirituality is important when it comes to combating them. There are a lot of things that vie for your attention daily. So it's very, very important that you pay attention to your spirituality. So this is just one chapter from my Superwoman book. So I'll end this by building personal mastery. So there are things to sweat, that's exercise. You need to meditate, you need to read. Every morning. So a book I'm 5 a.m. club. Go and buy the book Designers. Go and buy that book and read. 5 a.m. club by Robin. I'm typing it in. Robin Sharma. 5 a.m. club by Robin Sharma. So that book, everybody here should get that book and read. It's going to help you a lot. It's going to help you a lot. Going to help you a lot. So, because when it comes to building personal mastery, it's not done overnight. So, these 4 pillars I've talked about with constant practice is going to help you. So, for more, you can, if for those, I can't, of course, I can't talk about all my books here and all those kinds of stuff. But I believe we have been here for close to 2 hours now, and the motivation I want everybody here to take out from from this meeting is that your success as a designer is directly tied to your action. Nobody will come to your house and offer you 6-figure jobs. Nobody knows a silent expert. No matter how good you are, if you're not vocal about what you do, hunger will kill you. No matter how good you are, if you're not vocal about what you do, it will be hard for you. You have to, in this day and age of the internet, it's very, very important for you to know how to leverage content and community. Your customers will come from your audience. If you build your audience, you get clients. All my customers, and I told you guys, I currently have 1,600 views. I sell on my WhatsApp, just my WhatsApp. I build a community on my WhatsApp, my personal brand on my WhatsApp. I sell 3 courses: WhatsApp Domination, Superwoman Guide, and the Rule of Five. These three products, that all digital products, I've made sales over, from, if I start calculating from the beginning of this year to now, from my WhatsApp community only, I've made sales of about 1.8 million naira. Just my WhatsApp community only. So it's very important that you build a community. Like I said, everybody here have their own. Your own can be Instagram, your own can be Twitter. But no matter the platform you're building your brand on, and as a skilled person, it's very, very important that you learn how to do that. So I'm going to I have a free WhatsApp money handbook. So if you just DM me on WhatsApp, that one is free. At least I can get that one for free. But the donation class is paid. But this thing, in design group. So the WhatsApp money course, I just created it. In that course I gave a brief run through of what everybody needs when if you have an interest of pursuing a WhatsApp brand. That guide to give you this thing. So also my newsletter is there, ajulu.substack.com. If you go to my newsletter, you'll be able to see the post on selling your sawdust. Once you have to scroll down though, but there's a whole lot of other posts on my Substack. I teach on personal growth. I teach on this personal branding. They call me neck press, and my students call me neck press. That's what they call me because I'm someone that's I'm very, very high on keeping people accountable. So I believe that's all for tonight. So let me give the mic back to my boss, Moski, or this thing. Also, I want to also thank Moski for I had fun in this session. It's long I had session like this. So great thanks to Moski for putting this design together. I actually had a lot of fun with you guys. So, okay, question and answers. Before I forget, if anybody has a question, you can ask in the chat box. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Web design or graphics design? Graphic design mostly has to do with creating media now. That's for marketing purposes. Flyers, banners, and those are mostly what graphic designs cater to. But web design has to do with designing websites. That's just the basic explanation for the both. Okay, the skill I was is web design. I'll call it now. I was designing websites for people and apps. Okay, there was something I really thought I would be able to teach here today, which is skill layer, how to lay out skills. But if I start teaching it now, it will take another 1 hour. But when you're starting out, it's always better to start with one skill. Okay. I've gotten many questions from this about this. Let me briefly talk on it. So there's something called skill layering, whereby being good in one skill will help you this thing. There are skills that once you are good in that skill, there are related skills to that skill you're able to. So myself as an example, I started with this thing. I started with what content writing. That's content development. That's the basic skill I started with. So I spent years blogging, and as I read about content development and I developed content, by default things like online branding came into play because it's how you brand yourself on the internet is through content. So if you start creating content now about uh, phones and laptop, with time they know you as a tech blogger. You understand? So first of all, the base skill here is content creation. Then once you channel that content creation towards a particular niche or sector, you become an online brand. You build your online. So now I built my online brand around growth. That's my basic online brand. I'm someone that helps companies and people, personal and business brands grow. That's my basic brand. You understand? So with as I started with content development, I now started adding that skill, which is what online branding, which can also be called what marketing, because now I was able to. I talked about this earlier. Content marketing. I was able to create specific content that brought attention when it comes to people that were able to tell me that say that this is what this guy does. Then as time goes on, that thing that's so let me tell you guys, see, there's one thing I want to make clear. If you don't earn, if you don't figure out how to earn from one skill, five skills can't help you, because there are people that they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing a whole lot of things, but they're not making money. Like I said, I made my first million from what? Content development only. I didn't have any other skill. So even if you are starting with one skill, focus on that skill and perfect it and start making money from it. So even if you want another skill, you have to perfect that first skill first and start making money from it constantly before you jump to another skill. Because like I said, people struggle because they're always looking for shortcuts. And there's another thing called sales knowledge. There's what is called the art of business, and there's one that is called the business of art. Having a skill is different from knowing how to sell that skill. There are a lot of people who have skill, they don't know how to sell that skill. And that's basically what I've been talking about here since, which is what, yeah, the way you sell your skill is by being vocal about it, building in public. Because many people, many people this thing have skills, but nobody knows. They are very, very good, and they think the solution to earning money is by learning another. That's not the solution. The solution to earning money is by figuring out how to profit from that one skill you have. That's the first step. So if you don't figure out how to earn from one skill, because I know people that started like now, Damola started with graphics design, then he moved to product design. But he was already making money from his graphics design before he started doing product design. So yes, you can learn it's called skill layering. There are skills that you will learn, and they have sister skills that you can combine with them. So mine was content development. From content development, I moved to content marketing. Then copywriting came into the mix. So those three skills they are intertwined. They have to do with content. Then when I started learning product design, which is mostly websites, it now helps me post add the right kind of content on the website I was creating. There's some people here that designing website is only Lorem Ipsum they used to use. Lorem Ipsum is their friend. Lorem Ipsum, Lorem everywhere. Lorem. Why? Because they just feel that the content is for another person. But due to the knowledge I'm able to gather, and the fact that if the people I'm designing that platform, sometimes I'm the one that even give them all the ideas. So my copywriting knowledge is an added advantage for me because I know the kind of words to put on a platform. So it is all this combination of skills that also enables me to charge more and also differentiate myself from the marketplace. Because if two UI designers come for job, one knows copywriting and the other one doesn't know copywriting, the other one has an edge over the other one. This was skill layering. So can you learn different skills? Yes. But don't go and learn if I combine it, don't go and pick up a totally unrelated skill. Don't jump from this thing. Content development. You are trying to. I'm not saying it because I'm not saying that there's no skill that you can't learn. But I'm talking about that when you're layering skill, they are sister skills to a particular skill. So you said, what advice can you give for a content developer? If a content developer, my advice to you is to what? Start a blog. Yes, blogs can still be profitable in this time and age. And when it comes to Nigeria, how you monetize your blog is by this thing, creating is through informational marketing. There's a book by Ronald Zimora, Sell Your Brain. Look for it, type Sell Your Brain PDF on Twitter. He posted it one time. But Sell Your Brain by Ronald Zimora, she shared out the PDF for free to everybody. So as a content developer, start a blog. And all this thing is not easy. If you cannot start a blog, build your brand on a social media platform. If that is too hard, Twitter or WhatsApp is your best bet. We can grow an audience on any of these platforms and monetize that audience if blog is too big for you. But you need to create content. So once you start making money from that one skill, there are other skills that are closer to that skill you can also learn and combine it and make yourself more unique. So go back and read. I told you guys Naval. Let me say it again. Now listen to Naval. Naval explained this thing well. How to beat competition with specific knowledge. There's a combination of skills that you combine, that you build, and you'll be able to stand out in the field from other designers. So can you learn more than one skill? Yes, but you shouldn't be as a way for you to being desperate to make money. If you haven't figured out how to this thing earn from the one skill, learning another skill is not the solution. The solution is building a brand and learning how to drive sales. So if a graphic designer here that you're not getting jobs, and you're hearing that product designers are earning, UI designers are earning millions, and you feel that is when you learn the UI design, you start making money. The same thing that happens to you now in graphic design happens to you when you reach there. If you have not figured out how to profit and make money from your graphics design, learning UI design will not help you make money. Because you still be, when you get it, you still be in the same boat. Skilled man, no sales. So you have to learn sales. And sales is not hard. It's hard or it's not hard. You learn, you have to build sales. Is like I've given you this thing, how to drive sales, build a community. As you learn, build a community alongside. These are the people that will reach out, that will refer you for jobs, that will give you jobs. So it's very, very important. Is there any questions around this thing? So someone said UI designer. You can major in anything. Like I told you guys, UI design was stressful for me and frustrating, and I found that I'm actually a UX, more of a UX designer than a UI. So I focus on only UX. So it's less for you to find out, but don't go and say there's a difference between no skill is easy to learn, but you should be able to discern. You discern by taking action, not by looking for something easy. So the first skill I wanted to learn was software development, but I tried it and ran away. It was not working for me. And I didn't run away because I was lazy. I ran away because I actually tried. I thought, okay, this is not for me. And I moved on to something else. Some people will run away and say, this texting is not for me. I don't do tech again. No, you look for another skill that you this thing. So design clicked for me, and I've been in design since. But does it mean that the design is easy? No, it's hard. It takes process, it takes hard work. So it's left for you now. It's very, very important that you know the difference between that learning a skill is hard and doing something that is not you're not wired for. It's just like maths. It's that you know it or you don't know it. That's skills are like that. So if you try it out it and it's you know that okay, it's not because that this thing is hard, but because I'm not wired for it. You move, but you must learn. Everybody needs to learn a skill. So yes, so then you focus on the UX. Look for UX that has there are UX because now it's very, very a bit harder to get a job as a UX. I'm able to do UX research now because I was able to get into a company and I rose to the rank. I'm the CEO now. So it's easy for me to just do UX. I'm the head of my major function in the company is product design and growth. So I have another function apart from UI, so I can afford to do UX. But this country is very, unless you're part of a founding team, it's hard to get a job as a UX researcher alone. It's very, very, there are not enough opportunities out there like UI design. But at the same time, do UX, there are UX research blogs on Medium. Build a brand on Twitter. It goes back to this thing. By the time you start building a brand on Twitter, building in public, do your research and publish content constantly, you get the job. You must not be only from Nigeria here. Everything goes back to what? See, those people that are building a brand on Twitter, they have 10,000 followers. They don't have two heads. You can still, there's a blueprint. So if it involves you taking a Twitter course, find someone that is good with Twitter and take the person course, and it goes beyond taking a course. I create courses. I tell my students when they buy the course that this course is only giving you 20% of what you need. That the remaining 80% come from you taking action. There are people that are expert at buying courses. So that's very, very important. Any other question? Michael, how do I manage myself with learning a skill, reading good books for growth, working on a website? There's a whole lot of things that goes into this. It's about you learning how to manage your time, a morning routine. So come message my WhatsApp. Okay, for everybody here, I'm doing 50% discount on all my guides for tonight. So if you are paying this night, you get 50% discount on all the guys. So message me on Twitter, on WhatsApp. I'll send you. You read about the course. If it's for you, great. So a woman guide, rule of five, 50% discount. I know WhatsApp donation is not open for now. I've thought this WhatsApp donation is till next year. So for those people who are this thing trying to maybe become productive and all that, it's about one guide rule of five. So rule of five is for driving profitability. So one guy is for productivity. Those two guys. Those are the major things they've got. So, but no matter the platform, I'm seeing somebody talking about trading. Hey, thank God, let me address this thing. The best thing for you to do is to pick one. Pick either forex or crypto trading. This thing of trading is most of people are just confusing themselves. You end up not being good in anyone. Becoming a trader takes months and years of hard work. So if you're always splitting your focus between these two, it's going to be hard for you. The crypto market and the forex markets have different fundamentals and different things that goes into them. So don't combine. If it's forex, focus on only forex. If it's crypto, focus on only. But I'll advise everybody for you crypto. Focus on only crypto. If it's crypto you want to do, this thing of nobody is that masterful of jumping those two. It goes back to that thing I'm talking about, which is what people wanting to bypass the process. They don't bother will give them money. Nothing will give you money. Nothing gives money quick. Every legit way of making money takes process. The sooner you learn this, the better. A lot of people are creating problems themselves. They are doing a whole lot of things at the same time because they are in a rush to make money. No. Limit that. If your eyes is the same, your whole body will be light. Focus on just one thing. If it's one skill, there are people that are making millions from just that one skill. Focus on that skill, perfect it, make money from it. It's when you start checking, you don't want to say, you need position today, you do software development tomorrow data analytics, this one. What? Focus on one. any sustainable way of making money takes process. So I believe I'm able to. We have been here for 2 hours now. So I believe I'm able to give you guys this thing. What you need to know. Any other question? I'm done for tonight. Just unless there's any other question by anyone. Any other question?
Pascal, please unmute yourself if you want to talk. I've been trying to unmute you. Pascal Opala.
Use the chat box, so your voice is breaking up.
Pascal Opala. Oh, yeah, unmute yourself now. Or just lower your hand if you can't. All right, Ajulu, thank you so much for this section. God bless.
The person that's talking to you use the chat box. I can't hear you.
What do you say? Hello, can you guys hear me?